let's stop the presses, everybody.
Stop the press. Listen, I'm sorry about what I said. I was being an idiot.
Excellent example of infield journalistic investigative technique.
Therefore, your heinous comment will be stricken from the record.
People love it when you lose. They love dirty laundry.
I just happened to notice that our presses aren't running, which strikes me as rather odd since we are, after all, a newspaper.
Okay, what we got here?
Oh, Nika, this was from actually last Friday. This comes from MLB Network and Brian Kenny, MLB Now, the self-described thinking man show, I believe is what he calls it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he had us all thinking. I actually want to give him a little bit of credit here because he's the first guy that I think came out and said it like, well, I'm paraphrasing, but are the Dodgers overrated? Let's play the clip.
Is there a possibility that this isn't quite the super team we anticipated? There, that's calm. That's measured. Let's do a little digging in. And let's start where we left off last year.
Okay, let's not go down that trip down memory lane that he's about to take us on, but let's remember the point here is that are the Dodgers maybe not as cracked up as all the establishment baseball heads think they are? And I cut out all of the recapping of them winning the World Series and all the free agents that they signed in the offseason. We've talked about this to death. Let's get to the actual on-field play that's happening. Let's roll evidence clip number 1 from Brian Kenny.
The Dodgers are now 8th in runs per game. They're 6th in ERA. Again, both are good. That's fine. And they are, I know it's early, but they are below league average in base running, and they're well below league average in defense. Look at that, 22nd in base running runs, tied for 24th in team defensive runs saved. They've had moments where they looked messy. Max Muncy was once a good, versatile defender. He struggled at third. Mookie Betts is off the charts in versatility and baseball awareness. Dominates in right field. But there's something missing with him as a full-time shortstop. You can see it. And with Freddie Freeman out with his bad ankle, they now have Kike Hernandez playing first base. And look, we showed you, I think we're going to show you this spectacular play that he made. Yeah, that made our baseball he plays. That's sensational. Kike is super versatile, but his bat doesn't play at first base.
All right, I agree wholeheartedly right now that the Dodgers are a weak defensive team, Nika. And we even saw it rear its ugly head again last night on Sunday Night Baseball when Michael Conforto missed that catch on the left field line late in the game and cost his team a ground rule double.
Dodgers are sluggers. They not play fundamental baseball. We saw this. We've been seeing it in every single game. They make dumb mistakes.
Yeah, and he also points out that they were not doing this last year in the playoffs. And that's how they were kind of winning, was using these things to their advantage. And now all of a sudden it's kind of become a team weakness again. To me, this all starts with moving Mookie Betts to shortstop.
Well, they got rid of Gavin Lux, who used to play second or shortstop. I don't remember exactly. But they got rid of him, so they had to replace him with somebody. Mookie Betts was the probably right choice in their minds. But he is not a shortstop.
Yeah, he's this idea that they are trying to force, and especially at his age, you know, like I think it's bad.
It's a younger player position.
It's going to keep rearing its ugly head for the
Yeah.
Dodgers. I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what the fix is, because I just think they have a very odd roster to manage when it comes to where, if you don't play Mookie at short, what is the fix? Because you can't have Conforto in outfield, Teoscar in the outfield, and Mookie Betts in the outfield at the same time. Do you move Mookie back to second base? Do you move Tommy Edman to shortstop? And do you put Pagas in center field still, or Pages, whatever his name is? I can't remember how. I've heard his name said every which way from Sunday, by the way.
I think they already try all these combinations you are talking about, and they never play out the way it sounds on paper.
Yeah, I just feel like there's way too much being put on Mookie to play shortstop, and it's not necessarily even fair to him. And I kind of feel for him, you know, but it's the Dodgers, so I can only feel for him so much. I feel like this is again a situation of their own making by thinking like, oh, it'll just work itself out, and instead of having to make strategic decisions and not just spending blindly on everything that looks shiny on the market.
I mean, when was the last time he played a shortstop or a second baseman? It had to be a long time because that was probably when he was on the Red Sox.
Had to be. I don't even know if he played a lot of shortstop there, or if it was second base. Like I think he played more second base with the Red Sox, to be honest. And so Xander Bogaerts was playing shortstop.
Well, that's right, because they came from the same team.
Exactly. So, yeah, this idea that he's this defensive freak that can play shortstop, we saw it last year. He got moved. My prediction is Mookie will get moved off of shortstop at some point again this year. I just don't know if the move is to second base or if it's to the outfield and how that works itself out. Because, like I said, you have Conforto, you have Teoscar Hernandez, and they're basically carrying your team offensively right now.
I don't know.
It's not my problem to fix. I'm just pointing it out, everybody. And I think Brian Kenny brings up a good point about the defense. I just don't know if it fixes itself. Right. So, and then you the base, I'm glad someone's keeping track of it, but it's when Ohtani's not on base as much as he was batting like over 300 all of last year. And he just hasn't been on base as much this year.
People get to know him better. People know him as a player. Pitchers know him.
The Rockies are coming to town, everybody. I'm sure they're going to recover.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But let's not kid ourselves. Like,
there's more issues.
There's more issues underneath the hood than I think are being revealed here or whatnot. Let's hear clip number 2. This is getting into the heart of it.
So I want to show you something else. The Dodgers' investment in the last few years. Where has it gone? It's gone to pitching. Their position player core, as great as it's been, and it is aging. Freeman and Mookie are great. They're also 33 and 32. Max Muncy and KeNikka Hernandez, 34 and 33. Well, Freddie's 35, excuse me. Ohtani is 30. Even Tommy Edman is 30. This is likely their starting club when healthy. What do you notice? Nobody in their 20s. There's no 2 in all that. Andy Pajes is 24. He plays a lot in center field, but that's one guy, and Pajes is below league average offensively. So, look, their base running, defense, general baseball awareness was the separator in the World Series last year. They were taking bases from the Yankees while the Bombers were giving away bases. That's how they won. Defense is a young man's game, and the Dodgers, while they're aging gracefully, are still aging.
So, as you can hear, the roster is getting older, everybody. It's getting much older. We've been talking about this on this podcast, and it's been known for years and years and years that Major League Baseball players' prime years are around age 27 through 34. And so you look at Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, and it's not going to last forever. It's not. No one lasts forever. Clayton Kershaw's already breaking down. Like he couldn't even get through to the playoffs last year, and he didn't even pitch that much.
No, he didn't.
I remember him saying his toe hurt and he pulled himself out of a game in Arizona and that was it.
Well, the average age on the Dodgers as an average is 31 years.
Right. So as pretty as things look and as shiny of a team as they look like on paper, it doesn't last forever. And as most players leave their prime quickly,
They do, and you got to replace them with young players. And the Dodgers, they might have in their farm system, but they're not bringing up young players. They are much rather sign up free agents that have been around already because they need sluggers or they
100%.
want sluggers.
100%. Well, that was MLB Now's Brian Kenny breaking down the Dodgers.